So thanks everybody for joining. It's nice to see so many familiar faces and to be making so much progress that we're making. So I was told on good authority that some of the suggestions that we submitted to the Department of Justice became what went into the letter to our Secretary of State. So that's interesting too. So not only did we have input in the executive order on preserving America, election integrity, I always get that mixed up, but it's Executive Order 14248, but we also had input on the letter that went from the Department of Justice to the Secretary of State. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty neat. So I'd like to start us off today with Sheree Ritchie, who's going to update us on a couple of things she's working on. So if you don't know Sheree, she's been with us a long time, back when there was PIME, before there was Michigan Fair Elections even. So welcome, Sheree, and thank you for all you do.
Well, thank you, Patrice, and thank you for all you do. None of us would be here if it weren't for you. So what an effort we have been running on for three and a half years for me, four and a half or something for you. So couple things I want to cover today. First of all, the House Election Integrity Committee hearing that took place on Tuesday morning. There were 3 bills that were heard on the agenda. The key one being House Bill 4707, which is the bill to prohibit ranked choice voting in Michigan in every level of elections. The bill was heard for the second time. Testimony was given, and the bill passed out of committee 6-3 on party lines. And then it passed on the House floor the next day, yesterday, Wednesday, by a vote of 57-44, which means that it wasn't on party lines. I'll just leave it at that. So that's a good thing. We had a wonderful turnout by PIME members at the hearing. There were 5 of us there. For 2.5 years that I was going to those hearings, it was me. So I'm just thrilled that we have some folks that have really dived in and participating there. So I think the turnout, showing our faces there in numbers is really important. So just a surprise that took place at the committee hearing Tuesday. Trent England showed up from the Honest Elections Project. He's also with Save Our States, but Trent England just popped in unannounced. And I think Smith knew that he was coming, but I didn't know. We didn't know. Did you know, Jeff?
No, we
didn't know. It was a wonderful surprise. And he gave testimony again as well that was very, very powerful. So a couple of questions that the committee members asked during the hearing repeatedly, like they asked them several times, expecting to get a different answer every time they asked them. One was, why not just let the voters decide on a ballot? Why do we need this legislation? And there were answers to that, of course. I'll let Jeff cover that. And the second question they asked repeatedly was, wouldn't this bill, if it passed into law, just become basically null and void if the ballot measure were to pass? And the answer to that is yes. But it was a great hearing. I would encourage all of you to go on YouTube. You can pull it up under Michigan House Elections Integrity Committee meeting, and then put in the date. It's a long entry, but if you do it like that, it should pull it right up. You'll find it. It's a really good one to watch. And there was some other testimony given, and I'll let Jeff cover that. But one key thing that jumped out at me was the phrase that was used was, instead of ballot exhaustion, he said ballot elimination. And I kind of went, ding, ding, ding. There's the phrase we've kind of been looking for, because no one understands exhaustion. And we do, but most people don't understand ballot exhaustion. And it's kind of a little nicer than saying the ballot is trashed or thrown out. Ballot elimination is very clear and very powerful. So I'll leave it at that, and then I'll come back to talk about CBOR.
Okay. Jeff is going to give us a little update on testimony yesterday.
Yes, just here's a little bit of the testimony, just me. Trent England spoke before me, and also an advocate for the Rank My Vote. And so here's what I had to say.
No sound yet.
Okay, hold on. So you have to do this every time. Share, entire screen, share audio, share. Now you can optimize, share, go. Gosh, entire screen. I don't know. Anyway. Okay. Now we can go. And they only want to vote for one. Their vote only counts once, where other people's votes count many times. It penalizes those voters that do refuse, that have strong positions, by only eliminating or exhausting. It's a manufactured majority. It is not a majority. So if the person only votes once, their ballot is exhausted, cast aside. And so the denominator becomes less, so the numerator can become more. Hence, it's not a real majority. As same as with plurality voting. The current proposal excludes state reps and state senators. Your offices would remain plurality. My question is this: if it's not good enough for all elections, why is it good enough for any election? It relies again on election machines to calculate the winner. And as been pointed out in Oakland, California School Board and other races, the machines malfunction. Now, my professional career, I was in internal controls and an auditor. And if you can't audit a process, you create distrust. And let's face it, there's a lot of distrust of machines on both sides of the aisle, starting with 2000. We all remember the stories of Diebold, and now it's Dominion. So we're saying, trust the machine. I don't think a lot of people are ready to go there. And these races are local races. And we want to have this happen for a statewide race with the time involved. And let's, a little aside, the New York City mayoral primary was ranked choice voting. But the general election is a plurality election. So when the rubber hits the road and a voter's getting ready to hand the keys to the city over, they want a plurality election. And again, it's been banned in 17 states. Ranked choice voting is a complex solution to a simple problem that has a very simple solution. It's called runoff elections, where the top two candidates go head to head if a candidate doesn't get over 50% of the initial election. That is a real majority. The choice is clear. Ranked choice voting is not the right answer for Michigan elections. And I hope you pass this bill into law. Thank you very much. So that was PIME's testimony, and I think one of the most compelling parts of it all is really it's a manufactured majority as well as a complex solution to that has a very simple solution attached to it that everybody can understand. So with that, again, as Sheree mentioned earlier, it was passed in the House bipartisanly. So we just have to keep educating people as to the issues of ranked choice voting and let the people decide. And that's what I have. Any questions?
So speaking of that, Jeff, Michigan Fair Elections published a really outstanding report on ranked choice voting. I put it in the chat for people. It's 28 pages. It gives the history, the effects. It cites all kinds of case law. And so it's not pulling emotion out of the air. It's documents everything with historic fact, which is also very interesting that in 1919, Michigan had ranked choice voting. The Supreme Court ruled against it. So it's not a new idea at all. And it popped its ugly head up in Ann Arbor a while ago too. And then Ann Arbor people voted against it 62% after a while. They couldn't stand it once they'd had it. So keep in mind, they might tout this as a new idea, but that's an old tried attempt and it doesn't work. Nobody likes it. So that's to help yourself to that report. Our library items are all free, and I think you'll find it very well done. Thank you. Back to Sheree.
Yes, thank you. So now I would like to talk about our recently launched project called the Pledge, the Michigan U.S. Citizens Elections Bill of Rights, that you can call CBOR. It's a mouthful, but you can call it CBOR and we'll know what you're talking about. CEBOR, the acronym. So about a month ago, we launched this project, and what it is, it's a pledge for candidates to read and sign. The pledge was written by volunteers from our organization in partnership with the Election Integrity Network. And it's a document that contains a comprehensive list of what we want our candidates to understand is so critically important for our Michigan elections to be fair, secure, and transparent, and to pledge that they will work to uphold and preserve election integrity and to change what needs to be changed. Some examples of items that are in the pledge for our documentary proof of citizenship status to register to vote. Eliminate same-day registration, prohibit sharing of DMV data with any third party or non-governmental entity, provide civil and criminal penalties for withholding or destroying election results before the 24 months as dictated by law, and so many other things in there. It's really a powerful document, and all you need to do is email, call, or text me, and I will supply the document to you along with instructions for how to go about having it signed, and where to turn it in once it's done. So, which would be back to me. So, any candidate that has any effect on elections in Michigan is who we want to connect with and present this pledge to. So, any questions?
Dee has a question, Sheree.
Sure.
So you just said that we're your target audience for this pledge are candidates who have an interest in election integrity. I would ask that we expand that to any candidates, because that's part of our educational approach, and we might win them over in becoming election integrity advocates by presenting the pledge to them. It's just a thought.
I'll have you respond to that, Patrice, if you like. It is a good thought.
Oh, absolutely. I think anybody that wants to honor the U.S. Constitution would want to honor this pledge, because it's basically ensuring that citizens have the right to a vote that's fair and square. So, yeah, this should be open to any candidate. We particularly want to encourage candidates that might in some way affect elections. You know, if they're running for elected office as a clerk or representative of the state or Congress, or, you know, anybody that might get near the elections. But any candidate is running. I think it's a good way for them to identify their ideological foundation. So, and there's a question in the chat here from Mary. She wants to know how people get a hold of it.
I just put my email and my phone number in the chat. It's right above your comment, Mary, and it was so nice to speak with you yesterday. My email and phone number are right above your comment, so anybody can grab that. I'll put it in the chat again later, and I'll notate it that it's regarding the pledge package. You
can also put the pledge, just put the file right in the link right in the chat, I think. But if you have access to it, I could, but I'm not sure I have the most current version.
Yeah.
Okay. Next up, we have Kristine. Oh, and by the way, Pastor Ralph Reband, if you remember, he was on our show. He was the first to sign. So I was
going to say that today, and I forgot.
Isaac is doing a wonderful job of setting it up on the PIME website so that we'll be able to identify who's signed the pledge and what office they're running for, featuring a picture of them with holding the pledge. So that's not ready yet, but it will be. So thank you. All right. Next up, we have Kristine. Kristine.
Well, thank you, Patrice. I just want to mention, first of all, that back to your reference to the ranked choice voting article or report, a white paper, actually. It's in our library, and the library is on our website. And I want to just encourage everybody to pretty regularly go to our website because we're updating it all the time. And one of the most recent updates is we have a calendar now. So you can go to the calendar and, for example, oh, thank you so much. Probably Jeff, who has shared the website. So you can see we have the slideshow of our recent articles. But then up at the top navigation, thank you. Yep, there's our library, and you're going to be able to see probably the very first item under MFEI original reports is the ranked choice voting report that we've just published. So on the calendar, you're also going to find a lot of things happening that first week of September. That is a huge week for us. I don't want to belabor it too much, but on the 3rd is the Tea Party Patriots bus tour is stopping in Lansing on Wednesday, September 3rd. And you can register for that and everything because they're asking for RSVPs for that. I'm not entirely sure why, but they are. Or I'm not sure if it's an RSVP or a registration or something, but you can do that right on our website. Jeff, if you're navigating that, can you open up that calendar item so that people can see? So you can see all the information is right there on the website. Okay, so then I also don't want to fail to mention on Saturday that week is our volunteer recognition event, our picnic. And so we're hoping everybody will RSVP for that, and you can do that right on the website. So anyway, so I wanted to mention all of those things. September, that first week in September is a big one. So the second one I want to mention is we have, there's a story coming up, and I'm not going to tell you all the details because I want you to read the story on the website. But we have another FOIA story coming up. And of course, and this involves our very own Judy Bennett, who I believe is on this call right now. And she is being represented by Tom Lambert. Tom Lambert is our secret weapon. Well, Judy is too. She's kind of our secret weapon as well. But Judy has been investigating the 15 non-citizens who voted in the last election. And she made a FOIA request to the Bureau of Elections asking for information about that. If you want to know specifically what she asked, you're going to have to wait until I write the story, which is going to be published next week. But that it's another really great lawsuit. They're so fun to read. They really are, because they're just blatant. They're blatant abuse of the FOIA law. They refuse to respond, and they're just totally in the wrong. And we have this really great lawyer who helps us, hold their feet to the fire. Then the last thing I want to mention, and Patrice didn't ask me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about it anyway, but very quickly. So when I was in Michigan last week, I was listening, I was in Hillsdale for the hearing. And one of the things that came out was, we found out about this individual who worked for the Bureau of Elections who totally fouled up the provisional ballots in the 2020 election. We found out this person's name. He no longer works for the Bureau of Elections. One of the things, so as we thought about this in the communications committee meeting, several of our colleagues made some very interesting remarks. For one thing, Janine Iyer pointed out that we actually got to see behind the scenes a little bit how the sausage is made. That's correct. Then another point that I want to bring up is our good friend Jeff Schaeper is always saying that yes, the clerks are involved in all of this, but a lot of the people who know what's going on behind the scenes are the directors of elections. Because the clerks do, the county clerks do a lot more than just election administration. It's their director of elections who often is most involved. And then the third person is Patrice, who mentioned that we need more whistleblowers. We do. We need more whistleblowers in the in election integrity landscape. And so I took the, I'll take just another moment. I asked Grok, I said, to show me these election integrity related stories that involve leaking documents or that have a whistleblower. And there were only two. Grok only came up with two, and they were both from that 2000, in the 2000 era, you know, when there were all those questions about the voting machines because they had just come online and so on. So we really do need a strategy for cultivating whistleblowers. And so that's on my mind, and I just wanted to share that with you.
Thank you. That's a very good point. I appreciate that. Thank you, Kristine, for your report. And also, Michigan Fair Elections and Judy did file a suit just this last week against the Bureau of Elections for obstructing FOIAs. So
yeah,
that's
I'm sorry. That's
really...
what I was talking about. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good.
And we'll
Great.
be reporting on that. Yeah.
Good. Fabulous. Thank you. All right. Kelsey's got some fun things to tell us about. I'm not hearing you, Kelsey.
Yes. Yep, I had to
Okay.
unmute myself. I'll piggyback on something that Kristine mentioned about the volunteer appreciation picnic first before my main content. And that is, Sheree and I decided to go back to our original RSVP deadline, and I want to put some more information in the chat. So that's wonderful. You can find that on the calendar. That's a great new feature. And every volunteer in attendance will receive a recognition award. So thank you in advance for RSVPing, and we look forward to seeing you there. Oh yes, and Sheree also put together this amazing visual showing the one-way drive into Howells City Park and Schofield, also called Schofield Park, but we're not in the Schofield Pavilion. We're in the Rotary Pavilion, which she labeled in pink here. There's an unmanned credit card only kiosk right here. So if you want to drive some things in, drop off, and then exit and go ahead and park on the free parking on these side streets highlighted in pink, it would be about a quarter-mile walk, and you're absolutely allowed to do that. So please don't let the parking thing be a deterrent for you. This is maybe a little bit easier to see. So we're going to be about right here. It's beautiful lakefront. We're hoping for good weather. And if it's not good weather, there's a roof on the pavilion. So we'll hope for the best. We have about 30 people RSVP'd so far. So next, I'd like to recap something important also, piggybacking off of Kristine. Michigan Fair Elections is undertaking important Freedom of Information Act denial and obstruction lawsuits. And the election data that MFEI requests, it's vital to government accountability. And Kristine pointed out 2 weeks ago that when FOIA requests are denied, we are compelled to put the government on notice that they cannot randomly ignore the law. And lawsuits like this cost about $10,000. So I'm pleased to announce the launch of an end of summer fundraising campaign with a goal of $10,000 for the next 1 month until the end of summer. And 3 local donors have generously pledged 50% of this goal with a dollar for dollar match, meaning any additional dollar that folks donate gets doubled. And if you're thinking, okay, how can I help? There are many of you on the call. Oh, and I want to also mention one of the donors is on the call right now. If you're not already volunteering, I know many of you are, that's one way you can help. And I'll have more information on the next slide. We can expand MFEI's reach, and I encourage you to invite 2 friends to News at Noon per week. Be active on the social media, like Tracy has given many pointers before about watching videos the whole way through, liking, following. MFEI and PIME. If you have an idea of a sympathetic business owner or friend and acquaintance, I'd be happy for that referral to reach out with a personalized appeal. And of course, if you have the means and feel called to make your own tax-deductible donation before the equinox, then it can be matched. So in order to volunteer, you can click on the volunteer tab of Michigan Fair Elections website. You can forward your News at Noon invitation email or the link to the library that was mentioned also, so that friends and acquaintances could see the original reports that MFEI is publishing. Here's my email. I'll put this in the chat as well, Rasmussen_Kelsey@proton.me. If you think of a local business owner or someone that you think might be interested in donating to this 1-month campaign for litigation, that would be, I welcome any of those referrals. And then if you choose that you would like to donate, then there's the online option for credit card donations, or of course, checks with a donation match in the memo could be sent to MFEI's PO box, which I'll put in the chat as well. So thank you for all that you're already doing, and thank you for listening.
Thank you, Kelsey. I appreciate that. And just as a full disclosure, Kelsey is my beloved daughter.
So I would literally not be here without you.
Literally, yes. Go ahead, Dee.
Question for Kelsey. Kelsey, thank you so much for that update. This is awesome, and we appreciate you so much. On the donate button, if people wish to donate specifically to the FOIA litigation cases, is there an opportunity to select that's what we want the money to go to?
Yes, I was thinking about that. I don't have access to edit Anodot, so I think at this moment, before we have a solution for that, I would suggest you could send me an email. I'll put that it's right there in the chat now, to just say that this donation is coming in. If someone wanted to make it anonymously, yeah, I'll come up with a solution for next week on that. The meantime solution would be to email me. Mom, do you have any other ideas on that?
I think Anodot doesn't allow you to designate funds, but I'm not sure. It'd be good if you took a look. But yeah, if anybody texts or emails us, then we would just know to designate it towards that.
Yeah, because they're recurring people that donate monthly, we would not be putting it in that pool. So that's a really good point, Dee. Thank you.
But we tend to, we're not flush with cash, and most of the folks here are volunteers. So it goes to paying lawyers generally. That's 39% of everything we brought in last year went to attorneys' fees. So thank you. Thank you very much, Kels. Do we have, I want to make an announcement now. I want to do the All-Star Award. So some of you, I want to be sure, I'm sure she's here, actually, I checked. So anyway, some of you may know this person. She is quite often at the legislative hearings. She's actually a deputy clerk, so she knows exactly a lot about election law. And she quite often is giving up her time and her thoughts, and she's very bright, and she knows the law very well too. And she stands up and has lawsuits that she's filed at her own expense. So Shelley is a real hero, and I'm really pleased to recognize her today as our All-Star Award winner. So Shelley, you'll be receiving a letter. You'll get these new coins. They look better than these pictures here. They look much better. But and then also, of course, you'll become one of our eternal All-Stars. So thank you very much. Shelley, is there anything you'd like to say? I hope you're here, Shelley. You were here. If you're here, Shelley, you'll need to unmute. But there are a lot of good comments. Congrats, Shelley, for all you do. Shelley is an absolute hero and champion note taker. All right. Well, thanks a lot, everybody. And next up, I want to recognize Marian Sheridan. She's with Michigan Conservative Coalition, and we work with them very closely on election inspector recruitment. Are you here, Marian, to say a few words about the program we've got going here? I see that you're here, but I'm not hearing you. No, there we are. We can hear you now.
Okay. Is my video on?
No video.
Huh. It says. All right. Well, you don't need to see me. Anyway, so interestingly, the 2 weeks before the election, the primary, I had reached out to one of the election officials in Detroit, and he sent me the list of Republicans that volunteered to work. They're actually getting paid, so they're not volunteers. There were 443 people on this list. We texted through the entire list to remind people that they had an obligation to work in Detroit if they went through their training. Detroit has spent resources on them, so they really should follow through with that. There we go. It was interesting because we had people text us back. I think it was 7 people texted us back and said they didn't even know they were hired. They were told there were no positions open. So we thought that was kind of interesting. Is Detroit kind of padding the list, or why are these people on this list that don't even know? And the bad thing about that is going forward, like those people, I told them all to contact the city, of course, and let them know that they didn't know they were even working, if they are, where are they working. But these people hadn't even gone through the training. So why is their name on the list? But these are people that said I would work if they had hired me. So from our meeting with Janice Winfrey that Patrice and I attended, we were told that if people don't show, they're pretty much put on a blacklist and they're just never hired again. So that was kind of concerning to me, that these people innocently are put on this list and they will never be hired by Detroit again, because Detroit's putting them on a list that is a do not hire. So that was interesting. I think that there were a few people who said that they couldn't make it. And I said, well, you need to email the city of Detroit besides calling them, so that you have an email record that you notified them ahead of time that you couldn't work, because we don't want to lose those people. I have, there's someone that's still working evidently on looking at that 443 person list to see how many of these people are Republicans. That will be interesting information. I'm guesstimating then, if we look at this realistically, I bet we lose 100 people from all different ways, which means we probably had like 340 people that worked in the Detroit election for the primary. Detroit told us they were hiring 4,200. If you do the math, I believe that's going to come out to be like 7 or 8%, which is really dismal. Now, the exciting part about what's happening is our wonderful president has now said that we are going to count the ballots by hand, no more machines. Now, I believe that Donald J. Trump can make this happen because he doesn't say things, and it isn't something that he's just talking about. There's not too much that he has said that he has not followed through on. So I'm very excited about that. However, we are going to need an army of counters. It's like we can't let Democrats fill all the seats with Democrats who are going to be counting the ballots, or it'll be 2 for Joe Biden, or 10 for Joe Biden, or 10 for Kamala Harris, 1 for the Republican. It's like we have to be. So I think that it's going to be a great way to motivate people that they now have to step up, because part of our problem is people don't want to work in Detroit, in other cities. It's very unnerving. It's it can be it just can be nerve-wracking for them to take on that responsibility, and many people won't do it until they see the importance that I cannot let a Democrat army count the ballots. So I'm kind of excited that the president has said this, because I think it will really help us come up with, say in Detroit, we really need to come up with 2,000 Republicans to help count the ballots going forward. And it could be as soon as 2026. Don't you think, Patrice? I mean, I don't think there is a whole lot to this from what I'm reading about how this can happen.
Yeah, he's also said to stop mail-in ballots. So I'm not sure exactly how he would go about, countermanding some state laws, but I suspect if he says something that he
Yeah.
can do it if there's federal law behind him. So
Yeah, well,
Mhm.
I just don't think that they can, he can change it federally that there's no mail-in ballots.
Right.
So then what is the state going to do? Keep it for local? It would be crazy. It would never work. So they would have to all go to banning mail-in ballots for the election.
Yes, yes. It's not federal law yet. So it'd be great to see that in federal law. And also I have had people ask, what about senior citizens or people can't get to the polls?
Yeah.
The absentee ballot process used to be that if you were 65 or older, or if you had a health issue, you could just request one. And that worked just fine. So
Yeah.
I would like to go back to something like that.
Yeah,
So.
except just think about that. How many people will suddenly be over 65 years old and they're all Democrats?
Well, now remember, we're nonpartisan here, so we just want fair elections on both sides.
We do want fair elections all
On
around.
both sides. Yeah. So if there were too many Republicans, then it's absolute power controls absolutely.
Yeah.
So you need to have fair and balanced. The checks and balances are important for both sides, so nobody can succumb to temptation to have their candidate or their party benefit more than the other. So thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Marian. And now, is there an update on the electors case at all? I know Marian is one of the electors that's been targeted.
We're
charged.
going back to court on September 9th, and Judge Kristine Simmons will be determining whether this case is going to go forward to a jury trial or not. I think that according to the attorneys, it can go three ways. She can reduce the charges from 8 felonies, and I would guess that would be to 4 felonies, because actually the 4 of the felonies are just repeats of the other 4 felonies. It's just piling on. She could have the option of dismissing the charges on some of the electors. I don't know how she would determine that, but that's an option that I understand that the attorneys say is possible. And if she did that, there are probably and I'm going to say there's 3 of us that are probably closest to the party at that time. I'm sure that's where they would retain the charges. Or she could do the right thing based on the evidence or on the lack of evidence and dismiss, the whole thing. But for me, it'll be 14, 15 months since I was in court for my pre-exam. And that's a long time. And there can be a lot of pressure that's put on a judge from areas that we're not familiar with. So I just don't know what to expect. I'm trying to remain guardedly optimistic, but in light of what's going on, I just don't know if that's going to happen. But thank you so much for asking.
Well, our hearts go out to you, and I really think that things are going to keep moving your direction, because it's totally unfair, and it's unlawful, and eventually right will prevail on this. So good luck, Marian.
Thank you so much.
So Mary Moylan is here. She's our a county leader in Gladwin. And I asked her to speak a little bit today and give us an update on what's going on in Gladwin County.
Patrice,
Go ahead, Mary.
Patrice, would it be possible to ask Marian a question?
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Sorry. It's your hand.
Marian, is the September 9th date, is that in Lansing?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Would it be helpful for you to have support there for people to?
You know, I was actually going to reach out to a couple of the attorneys today and ask them if they think that's something that would be helpful, or, you know, is it just like it's not going to matter, or is it something that they would strongly discourage? So thank you for asking that, and I will pass on, you know, what the attorneys say about that.
Thank you.
So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Fred has his hand up, Patrice.
Okay, go ahead, Fred.
Briefly, you were talking about the federal authority over email ballots in our election. So I would steadfastly resist any duplication of the roles for state elections and federal elections.
Yeah, we weren't talking about email ballots, although that is an issue. We were talking about mail-in ballots.
Yeah, of
But I
course,
agree.
mail-in. Yeah,
I agree.
mail-in ballots. That's what I mean. Yep.
Yeah, and federal law does trump state law, no question about it, but there needs to be a federal law about it. So,
Yeah.
okay, now, Mary, I don't want to give you short shrift, so please tell us what's going on in Gladwin. Thank you for leading the chapter up there.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, we've been working up here basically on the 3 petitions, the ranked choice voting and the Axe My Tax, and the new one, the citizens only vote. And we're getting a lot of support from the people here. They've been coming into our office. So we're kind of small. We don't have a lot of help up in Gladwin, but we're open every Friday and people are starting to come in. They're seeing our signs about it, our publications about it. And they're coming in mostly for the Axe My Tax. The property tax issue is really drawing them in. You know, a lot of farmers, a lot of rural people. We're not a rich county, you know. And once they come in, though, we certainly grab them for ranked choice voting information and the citizens only. Many of them have never heard of the citizens only. It was a surprise to them. And so, but once we tell them about it, they ask for the pen. Where can I sign? You know, they're all so excited about that petition. And I was at our local radio station, WGDN 103 Country up here, and I was interviewing, talking about our upcoming Lincoln Day, and they started asking about the petitions. And so I was able to give them a big rundown. And actually, they invited me back to come in and specifically talk about the citizens only and also ranked choice voting. And of course, we have to throw in Axe My Tax because that grabs a lot of attention. And that's very popular up here. And so I'll be doing that soon within the next few days. We also have a food truck outside our office that comes on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And I saw them there yesterday. I got a wonderful pork lunch there. And I said, we can set up a stand there on those mornings when they're there because they're very popular. People, you know, pull in, order, and talk to people about these issues as well. And we did do a presentation on ranked choice voting right before it was approved. And it was very well received. And I think every time we talk about it, that thing, you know, people just go, no, you know, we don't want it. And I want to say one thing about that. I love languages. I'm very much into languages, and there's nothing that makes me angrier than deceptive and manipulative language that is used. Mm-hmm. And we see that happening all the time. You know, so I always ask, and I'm very active on Facebook too. Whenever I see anybody comment on these, I jump right in. And, you know, I say, explain the majority, you know, explain what you're talking about. Show us the steps, because they lie. They lie so, you know, boldly and brashly. And they usually devolve into insults, you know, and tell me I'm a slave of my billionaire elite masters. So that's kind of the quality of the conversation we seem to have. I even put some in that presentation I made. I mean, it was wild what this guy was accusing me of. So anyway, I just wanted to say that, oh, and I've also contacted our township clerks and asked to do a presentation on both, and our county commissioners as well. To do presentations on the ranked choice voting and the other petitions that we have. You know, this is a petition-rich year, and it's good to get the word out there. So we're a conservative county, but, you know, you got to get the news out, or people just, they're so confused, and especially about manipulative language. I think we need to highlight that and ask for definitions of everything they say, explain it fully, securely, and not let them get away with that. So we're working hard up here.
Yes, you are. Wonderful job. Well, we're so glad to have a new chapter and have you leading it up there, Mary. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
So we have a couple questions. One question was if you've got an item that you'd like to put on the calendar for your local county or chapter, how do you do it? Kristine, would you be the person to ask for that answer?
Yes, I mean, if you, the person to contact, if you want to put something on our calendar, and we're delighted to have you do that, by the way, is to contact Debbie Glasgow. And Debbie is on the call today. Debbie, if you could put your contact information in the chat, then people will know how to do that. Because we are really trying to promote that calendar as a destination for all kinds of information. So thank you.
Great, thank you. And another comment in the chat that it was really breaking news. It's very interesting that Becky, you want to tell people about what you know about the massive 500 million civil fraud case against Trump?
Yes, it has been dismissed, so he doesn't owe. He posted like 550 million with the fines and penalties and all that kind of stuff. So he's very happy and is on the attack again on Truth Social. He's got 2 more waiting for appeals, 2 more cases, and he's confident he's going to win those as well.
That's great. That's great. So that's a nice thing to keep in mind. Lawfare does work though in the sense that it silences people. Like people who are whistleblowers, by the way, are protected by law against being sued. But they may not feel that way because of the lawsuits flying around, the frivolous lawsuits. And if you were Trump and you had a $500 million civil suit against you, I can't remember what the reason was they said against him, but
Overvaluation of his loan applications.
oh, that's right. Overvaluing his properties in an application for a loan.
Crazy how all the mortgage fraud cases are coming to bear, isn't it?
Isn't that what Letitia James is being investigated for right now?
That is correct.
And
That's
she's
right.
the one that oversaw that case. So
Yes.
hallelujah.
And it's not just her. It's that
Right.
woman there's a woman serving on I think the Federal Reserve Board who
Yes.
Yes.
Cook.
Yeah, so yeah, they've got him on the run.
Do we know where those people are registered to vote and how many times they're voting?
The Federal Reserve woman listed in an Ann Arbor, Michigan address.
Oh. Well, that's interesting. So anyway, I do think that regardless of how a person might feel about Trump, what he did when he won was he freed people who might have been cowed and fearsome into being brave again, into standing up tall and realizing, we come from frontiersman heritage where, we're not used to being stifled and stymied and have our freedoms taken from us. We're used to being able to have debates at the kitchen table and discuss things with people who might disagree with us because that's healthy. That's actually what the country was founded on. It was called the town square principle, where people would go into town square and they talk about issues, and in talking they come up with better solutions. So silencing people is not healthy for anybody. So I'm really glad to see people being able to be freer in their speech. So it's an important thing. The foundation of our country depends on it. So thank you. We had here Darlene. Darlene, if you're available, would you like to give any kind of updates on Wayne County or what's going on with ranked choice voting with your group? We've got just a couple minutes here. I know it's unfair to ask you at the last minute. I figure you're up to it.
Hi. Well, we went over a few things yesterday in our ranked choice voting meeting, and we have a plan going forward. We'll be getting that out to you soon. And the other thing for Wayne County is I attended the Wayne 6th yesterday, and they are very interested in helping with the ranked choice voting issue. And also with, I had some people come up to talk to me about doing, check my vote and souls to the rolls. So expanding our working force in Wayne County. With ranked choice voting, we're going to be starting town halls. Sheree and I have talked about it. We've divided the state up, so we're not going to be starting them until after Labor Day. We're not exactly sure because then also comes in Mackinac, and the whole month of September is kind of busy for different things, and but we will be starting them soon. Hopefully we'll at least get one in September. And then we'll be contacting people. And if you're interested, please go to PIME, the Pure Integrity Michigan elections website, and sign up to get information and be on the team. And we'll be contacting you and moving forward.
Thank you, Darlene. That's right. And Jeff had been texting that we need to talk about the Mackinac Conference. I forget the dates on it. Do you know, Jeff?
19th, 20th, and 21st.
19th, 20th, and 21st. And Michigan Fair Elections, or PIME, will be having a table there. So if you're planning to go, please stop by and help out with the booth table.
Well, come by and just say hi. We're right friendly folk. So, really quick. Hey, while I show this PIME site, you want to talk about your meeting with the Canton clerk really quick about ranked choice voting, Darlene? Very interesting.
I did talk with the Canton clerk. He is very progressive, liberal. But we had a really good conversation. He is not against ranked choice voting, but he's not going to make statements about it. He's going to be stating anything for or against, but he had a lot of information that was wrong. He thought it was a brand new idea. I said, no, this was actually in Michigan in the early 1900s and was stopped. I said, so this is not a brand new thing. And he mentioned that one thing that I found really interesting is there is a case from San Francisco. It was, I believe it was a county commissioner. I don't have that information in front of me. So I just learned about this a few weeks ago. She won after 19 rounds. It was the 19th round. There were 19 people and she won, and her winning total votes were 4,900, and the total number of voters in the area that put a ballot in was 17,900. So she only won by 4,900. So he said it would be what the majority wanted. So I asked him to explain, when you have 13,000 votes that were eliminated, how does that make someone with 4,900 out of the 17,000, I'm sorry, how did that make that a majority? And he goes, well, that is a little concerning. So it was a very good conversation, back and forth, no arguing, but listen to me, I listened to him. And he mentioned about it being civil and it would do all these great things. I said, show me where you have documentation, because I have the documentation. We all have seen that documentation about that it isn't true. And so I think that gave him some food for thought. I've emailed him a couple of things this morning rather. So I'll be interested to see. I did send him your report, the white paper, and also a couple of other things. I can't remember which, but I emailed him. So it's going to be interesting. He did invite me back for another conversation. So I thought that was really good. And I see that Patrice is going to be talking at the bus stop in Lansing in September.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
That's
September 3rd.
Citizen only, right?
Yes, it is. That's right. Yep. Citizen only vote. They're doing a bus tour and hitting I can't remember how many states, 29 states or something. And they're coming to Lansing on September 3rd. So yeah.
6th or 6th? Isn't it the 6th? Or is it the 3rd? I'm
You
sorry.
know what? I don't know. I don't know.
It
We'll
is the
have to
third.
get it on the
Kristine
calendar.
is going,
Is-
yes,
is
it
the
is the
third?
third.
It's the third. Okay, good.
It's the sixth is the picnic.
That's right. Yeah. September's going to be a fun month.
And there's also a great article I shared with everybody. Well, not everybody. I shared with some people on our team, the ranked choice voting team, that Terry Lynn Land has on her Facebook page in regards to she thinks ranked choice voting is not a good choice for Michigan.
Good. Good. All right. So I think one of the objectives here is, well, the main objective is to educate people so they can make a wise decision. And if we can get ahead of this curve and get people educated, then they're going to not allow a horrible thing to take root.
Right, and that's
they're not going to believe the bull that flies around. So
exactly, and that's what she was pointing out are the reasons, not that don't do it, don't vote, don't sign. She explained reasons why it would be detrimental. That's
good.
what we need to do.
And Ben Jamison says that Allegan GOP Executive Committee is meeting tonight. And they have a resolution on the agenda condemning RCV. He expects it to pass overwhelmingly. Extensive
Thanks,
list.
Ben.
Yeah, that's right. I know the District 7 is working on it too. So.
And
good.
Washington GOP passed theirs last Thursday.
Yay! It would be interesting. We should keep a log of what counties have passed it.
I have been keeping a log, and I will be uploading them into the ranked choice voting if they send me a documentation. But I have because I've been contacting people, and even the Right to Life came out to make a statement against ranked choice voting. I thought that was an interesting group that did that, but that was really cool.
Yeah, that's right. So that's fantastic. All right. Well, here we are at the end of the hour. Went fast as usual, as it always does. So I appreciate everybody's coming, and I hope to see people at the picnic on September 6th and at the bus stop on September 3rd in Lansing. And let me know if you'd like anything on the agenda, anything we need to talk about. So appreciate it. Thank you, everybody.